Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please hit that subscribe button to join my channel and stay updated with more gripping tales like this one. My phone kept buzzing relentlessly. 10 missed calls, then 11, climbing to 12. I glared at the screen, my sister's name pulsing repeatedly. My gut churned, not with dread, but with a quiet thrill, because I knew exactly why she was calling. At last I picked up. Her voice exploded through the speaker, shrill and shattered. "Ruby, it's all falling apart. The cruise won't let me on. The hotel says the payments are blocked and people are mocking me." "What did you do?" I grinned, sinking back into my chair, my coffee still hot in my hands. "Oh, Rachel," I said gently, "you should have realized by now. Every cent you took leaves a trace, and I made sure it points straight back to you." Silence hung on the line, broken only by her stifled sobs and Mom's furious yelling in the background. I could almost see the scene, their faces flushed with humiliation, whispers rippling through the crowd, their grand party collapsing before it even started. For years, they saw me as the soft target, the sister who'd stay silent, foot the bill, and never push back. But this time, they picked the wrong person to cross. I was done holding my tongue. I'm Ruby, and I never imagined my own family would betray me over money. It all began one warm Friday evening when my mother strode into the living room, her eyes sharp with that familiar demanding glint. She didn't sit. She just loomed over me, arms folded, and declared, "Ruby, your sister's cruise party is coming up. She deserves something extraordinary. I need $15,000 from you." I froze, my pen hovering over my notebook. 15,000? Mom, that's my entire savings. Her voice sharpened, as it always did when she wanted her way. "Don't act like you're struggling. You've been stashing money for years. Your sister deserves the best, and it's your duty to make it happen." I was stunned. My younger sister, Rachel, was already pampered beyond reason, never having worked a day in her life. And now my mother expected me to hand over the money I'd saved for my future? I took a steadying breath and said calmly, "Mom, I've worked too hard for that money. I can't just toss it at a party. If Rachel wants a cruise, she should earn it herself." Her gaze turned icy. "So, you're going to shame your own family? Everyone knows Rachel deserves this. Refuse and you'll regret it." I leaned back, shaking my head. "No, Mom, I'm not paying. Not this time." The room went still. Her lips pressed into a tight line, and without another word, she stormed out. That look told me she wasn't done. She was plotting something reckless. That night, I tried to brush off the argument, but a heavy unease settled in my chest. Mom had always favored Rachel, but this felt like she was about to cross a dangerous line. The next morning, my phone pinged with a bank alert. My account was empty. My heart pounded as I logged in to confirm. Every penny gone. Charges for flights, cruise deposits, and hotel bookings, all on my credit card. My hands trembled with rage. She couldn't have, but deep down I knew. I marched into the kitchen where Mom sat sipping coffee, calm as ever. Rachel was there, beaming, flashing her phone with images of the cruise ship. "Morning, Ruby," she chirped. "Isn't it incredible? The party's all set." I'm so excited. My stomach twisted. "You stole my card," I said, my voice breaking. Mom barely blinked, just arched an eyebrow. "Don't be so dramatic. I handled it. Your sister deserves this. You'll see my way eventually." I clenched my fists. That was my future, Mom. My savings, my hard work. "You had no right." Rachel rolled her eyes. "Stop complaining, Ruby. It's just money. Don't be so greedy." For a moment, I wanted to scream or shatter something. But then, a strange calm settled over me. I laughed, a deep, unstoppable laugh that made them stare like I'd gone mad. "What's so funny?" Rachel snapped. Wiping a tear from my eye, still smiling, I said, "Enjoy it while it lasts. You'll both regret this more than I ever will." They didn't grasp my meaning, but I did, because I'd already called the bank that morning. The next day, as I brewed coffee, my phone buzzed incessantly. Rachel's name flashed across the screen. 13 calls in 10 minutes. I finally answered. "What do you want, Rachel?" I asked coolly. Her voice was frantic. "Ruby, what did you do?" The cruise line won't let me board. The hotel says the payment failed and mom's card isn't working either. Everyone's staring and I'm lost. I lean back, sipping my coffee. Oh, didn't I mention? I said smoothly. I reported my card stolen yesterday. Fraud. You know, the bank takes that pretty seriously. What? She shrieked, so loud I pulled the phone away. You've ruined everything. People are posting about it online. My friends are laughing. I couldn't help but smile. No, Rachel. You ruined it when you took money that wasn't yours. Actions have consequences. In the background, Mom's voice barked at someone, likely hotel staff. Then she snatched the phone. Ruby, she bellowed. How could you do this to your sister? She's humiliated. Fix this now. I took a slow breath. No, Mom. You humiliated yourselves when you stole from me. This is your mess, not mine. The line went quiet, save for Rachel's muffled sobs. For the first time, I felt stronger than both of them. I hung up and set my phone down. They'd taken advantage of me for years, but this time, I wasn't the one crying. By midday, word spread through friends and neighbors. Rachel's lavish cruise party had imploded into a public fiasco. Guests arrived at the port expecting a grand event, only to face locked gates, unpaid balances, and staff demanding payment. Some filmed the chaos. Clips went viral. Rachel yelling at the cruise manager, Mom arguing with security, laughter rippling through the crowd. I sat on my couch, coffee in hand, watching one video. Rachel shouted, "This is a mistake. My sister will fix it." The manager replied sternly, "Ma'am, the payments were flagged as fraudulent. Until the bank clears this, there's no party, no cruise, nothing." The crowd buzzed with whispers and chuckles. Rachel hid her face, mortified. Mom's face burned with rage. Later that evening, they stormed home, the door slamming so hard it rattled. Mom charged into the living room, voice quaking with fury. "You cruel girl," she screamed. "You've destroyed your sister's reputation. Do you know how humiliated we are?" I stood slowly, meeting her glare. Humiliated? You stole from me, Mom. You let Rachel spend money that wasn't hers. You should be ashamed of yourselves, not me. Rachel, still in her party dress, sobbed. "Everyone hates me now, Ruby. They're calling me a fraud. I can never show my face again." I crossed my arms. That's what happens when you build your life on lies. Maybe now you'll learn what honesty means. For once, neither had a retort. The silence was heavier than any fight we'd ever had. The next morning, just as I savored the quiet, the doorbell rang. A tall man in a dark suit stood there, holding a folder, his face stern yet professional. "Are you Ruby?" he asked. "Yes," I replied warily. He opened the folder. "I'm from Crestwood Collections. Your mother owes a substantial debt, taken out in your name." My heart sank. "In my name?" He nodded. "Yes. Multiple credit applications were filed using your details, but our investigation shows you didn't sign anything. The fraud traces back to your mother. She's legally liable." Shock hit me, but a spark of justice flared inside. Of course she'd done this. Not content with draining my savings, she'd tried to wreck my credit too. Mom appeared in the hallway, her face ashen. "You don't need to tell her that," she snapped at the man. He didn't waver. "Ma'am, you committed identity fraud. You'll face the consequences." Rachel rushed in, eyes wide. "Mom, what's he talking about?" I looked at her. "He's talking about the truth. Mom's been stealing from me for months, and now she's caught." Mom's voice trembled with rage. "You think you're so clever, Ruby. You'll pay for this. I did what I had to for this family." I shook my head. "No, Mom. You did it for yourself and Rachel, and now the consequences have arrived." The collector handed her a notice. "You'll hear from the court soon. Be prepared." He left, and the silence that followed was deafening. Mom stood clutching the paper, hands shaking, with no words left. That night, the house was thick with tension. Mom stayed in her room, the court notice untouched on the table like a ticking time bomb. Rachel paced the living room, chewing her nails. Suddenly, she turned to me, eyes desperate. "Ruby, I need to tell you something." I raised an eyebrow. "This better be good." She swallowed hard and blurted, "The cruise wasn't for my friends. It was for me and Josh. We were going to run away together." I froze. Run away with Josh? That deadbeat who can't keep a job? Rachel's cheeks reddened. You don't get it. He promised me a new life. The party was just a cover for our escape. Mom knew. Anger surged in my chest. So you plan to blow $15,000 of my money, humiliate me, and vanish with some guy? Do you even hear how absurd that sounds? Tears streamed down her face. I thought it would work. I thought he loved me. I folded my arms. And where's Josh now? Her voice dropped to a whisper. He blocked me. When the payments failed, he was gone. Her words stung her more than anything I could have said. She betrayed me and been betrayed in return. From the hallway, Mom's voice cut through, sharp and bitter. Don't tell her everything, Rachel. I turned toward her door. Too late, Mom. I know enough. The cruise was a lie, the money was stolen, and now the law's involved. You're out of moves. Rachel collapsed onto the couch, sobbing. For the first time in years, I didn't feel like the weak one. 2 days later, the doorbell wasn't a debt collector, it was the police. 2 officers stood on the porch, faces serious. Good morning, one said. We're here about a fraud complaint filed by Ms. Ruby. May we come in? I stepped aside, my heart racing, not with fear, but with relief. Mom rushed in, pale. Officers, this is a misunderstanding. Just a family issue. One officer shook his head. Ma'am, we've seen the evidence, stolen card reports, bank records, applications in your daughter's name. This is fraud, not a misunderstanding. Rachel stood frozen, hands shaking. Please don't take her, she whispered. The second officer looked at me. Ms. Ruby, do you wish to press charges? I met Mom's wild, desperate eyes. For years, she'd controlled me with guilt and threats. Now I held the power. Yes, I said firmly. She stole from me, ruined my credit, and tried to destroy my future. Mom gasped as the officers approached. You ungrateful child. After all I've done. I cut her off. You did it for Rachel, not me. Now you both face the consequences. They cuffed her and Rachel clung to her, crying. But Mom just kept yelling at me. You'll regret this, Ruby. As they let her out, I felt no regret, only freedom. For the first time, I'd chosen myself. The house was eerily quiet after the police left. Rachel sat curled on the couch, makeup streaked from tears, whispering, this can't be real. I walked to the bookshelf and pulled out a hidden brown folder. Rachel looked up, eyes red. What's that? She asked faintly. I opened it on the coffee table. Dad's will, I said. He saw what was happening in this family. He knew Mom favored you and might go too far. That's why he included a clause. Rachel frowned. What clause? I read clearly. Any family member guilty of theft, fraud, or financial harm against another will lose their inheritance. Her jaw dropped. You're making this up. I slid the signed document to her. Read it. It's Dad's handwriting. Her hand shook as she scanned it. So, if Mom's convicted, she loses everything? I nodded. And since you helped spend stolen money, your share's gone too. Her face paled. That's not fair. Dad wouldn't do that to me. I looked at her coldly. Fair. You tried to steal my future for a runaway fantasy with Josh. Dad knew you were capable of this. That's why he protected me. Tears fell, but I felt no pity. She'd been the golden child while I was used and ignored. Now the truth had shifted and I held the power. The weeks that followed were like waking from a long nightmare. Mom's trial was swift. With the stolen card, fake loan applications, and bank evidence, she had no defense. She was convicted of fraud, and per Dad's will, her inheritance was gone. Rachel tried to argue in court, claiming she only followed Mom's orders, but the judge didn't care. She wasn't charged, but her claim to Dad's estate was revoked. Their perfect world crumbled overnight. I stood outside the courthouse, the crisp autumn air brushing my face. I wasn't the weak one anymore. The girl pushed aside, or drained of her savings. Rachel passed me, avoiding my gaze, no longer the dazzling sister who bragged about cruises. She looked small, scared, broken. I almost felt sorry, but then I remembered her laugh as she flaunted those cruise photos, paid for with my money. I walked home slowly, each step lighter. The house was quiet now, mine. My future was mine again. One night, I sat at the kitchen table, Dad's will before me. I traced his handwriting and whispered, "Thank you, Dad. You knew I'd need this." Closing the folder, I realized this wasn't just about money. It was about breaking free from years of control. They tried to sink me for a cruise, but they drowned themselves. And I'd learned to swim on my own.